I was sitting in the family room watching TV when my son-in-law walked in and shut it off. "Go to your room, old woman," he snapped. "This living room is mine now." My daughter dropped her eyes. I stood up, grabbed my keys, and walked out without a single word. The next day, a man in a sharp suit showed up at the front door and rang the bell. Welcome to my channel. I share new life stories here every day, and I'd truly appreciate it if you subscribed and liked this video. Now, let's return to the story. I promise if you stay until the end, you won't regret it. That evening, the click of the remote cut through the family room like a gunshot. I was seated in my green velvet armchair, the one I bought with my very first Social Security check after my husband passed away 15 years ago. A cup of fresh coffee sat cooling on the side table, and the scent of peach cobbler lingered in the kitchen. The television hummed softly with the evening news. This was my quiet hour, when my joints loosened and I belonged to no one, when I could simply exist. The front door slammed as if a storm had rushed inside. I didn't turn my head. I already knew who it was. Derek walked in like the house belonged to him. Behind him, my daughter Lena carried grocery bags, her shoulders drooping, her eyes fixed on the floor as though she were apologizing just for being there. I stayed where I was. Derek stepped directly in front of the television, blocking my view. He let out that familiar snort he always made when he saw me resting. He grabbed the remote and hit the red button. The screen went black. "To your room, old woman," he barked. "I've got the game on. This family room is mine now." The silence thickened. I could hear his short, smug breathing, as if raising his voice had earned him ownership. Slowly, I lifted my eyes to Lena. She stood in the kitchen doorway, her fingers clenched tightly around the grocery bags. Our eyes met. I waited for just one thing, for her to say, "Don't you dare speak to my mother like that. This is her house." Instead, Lena lowered her head and began rearranging a bag, pretending something inside had shifted. That small movement hurt more than any shouted insult. Derek's noise, my daughter's silence, betrayal. A cold clarity settled over me. Not rage, not humiliation, just a calm, icy awareness. 35 years working at the county recorder's office teaches you one truth: words mean nothing, documents always do. I stood up, my knees cracked sharply. In that quiet room, the sound felt official, like a stamp on paper. Derek was already stretched out on my couch, unbuttoning his shirt and grabbing a soda without even glancing my way. To him, I had long ago become part of the furniture. I walked past him and into my bedroom, not to hide or cry the way they likely expected. I opened the bottom drawer of my dresser and pulled out a stiff leather pouch I used for bank matters. From it, I took a set of keys and a blue folder held together with an elastic band. My fingers slid over the rough pages inside. A bill of sale, old but valid. A current deed. Owner, Celeste M. Everson. The paper had yellowed edges, but its authority was unbreakable. In the mirror, I saw my short gray hair, my glasses hanging from a chain, linen trousers, and a navy blouse. I looked like the kind of grandmother who bakes cookies. That had always been my strategy. As long as Grandma kept feeding the wolves, they felt like kings. The moment the pot lid closed, the king's claws turned soft. I walked back toward the family room. Derek had switched on the sports channel and turned the volume up loud. Lena clattered dishes in the kitchen, choosing silence over courage. I headed for the front door. My heels clicked against the hardwood. Derek glanced over, smirked, and lifted his soda. "Going for a walk, Celeste?" he mocked. "Try not to get lost at your age." I didn't respond. I turned the deadbolt. For a brief moment, I looked around the house, the framed Savannah riverfront print, the rug I vacuumed every Saturday, my son-in-law's back, my daughter's shadow in the kitchen. My fingers closed around the keys in my pocket. The cold metal felt powerful.